Good evening, everyone. Welcome to day six of the Ideation training. Today's session will be on purpose and value proposition, presented by Mr. Carlos. My name is Sergio Gomez, and I'm the technical consultant for FAO. It is a pleasure to have you all today in tonight's session. But please make sure to fill out the attendance link that will be shared to you shortly, right? Also, all the content that we'll be covering for tonight, you can access it on Google Classroom. And for any questions or concerns about tonight's training, you can email us to the email that will be provided as well shortly. Remember also that you can send your Model C Canvas to that same email, and we can review it. And we can review it for you. This draft that you send will not be graded, will not be considered for selection as yet. It's just gonna be for your purpose, right? So, welcome once again, and I pass you over to Mr. Carlos presenting on purpose and value proposition.
Hello, good night, everybody. Um, I, of course, will be sharing the presentation um, tonight that I will be using for this purpose. No? Um, Also, when we are going to speak about purpose and value proposition, it is important to understand. It's important for us to understand the first of all, what is the business purpose. So I think we have all heard the word business purpose, but let us be clear first of all. No, um, so to many of us, how many of us have jumped uh, to establish a business because you saw the opportunity, or how many of us uh, did a business because there was no other option of trying to survive? Or I imagine many do have a business um, uh, because they made the right research, or they made the consideration, or generated an idea, no? Uh, but at the end of the day, um, the business was done with a purpose, no? But there's one main purpose that many people that have established very successful businesses, they have indeed established that one of the main purpose for a business is precisely to provide a certain value to a customer, no? So there has been one established principle, and that is that the purpose of a business is precisely to to create and keep a customer, or also a business activities must be precisely focused on this precise purpose, no? So the customer in this case takes a very important and relevant role in our business. And so we will see when we start to develop this area of the training, you will realize the importance of being able to understand the customer that you have to satisfy, no? um, so um, as I mentioned, no, the customer then becomes a central part of your business. Um, so let us think for a little while before uh, um, we enter into further discussion. Is have you if you can answer this question, no, fast, I think you can type your comment. What would the world lose if your business didn't exist anymore? Any comments? Are we getting any of the feedbacks? Yes. Okay. Our next question would be, what drives your projects? What drives your projects? In this case, what drives the business project that you are intending to develop, no? What is it driving? What motivates it? What is behind it? Just a couple of seconds. Okay, I am seeing several comments already, and I think it would be important to see what is driving many of those. And the last question in relation to this business purpose is, how can your business change the reality around you? We all want to make a difference in the world, no? So I strongly believe that this is a very opportune question that intends to motivate many people. Okay. Okay, so we have seen that many people have provided good um feedback, no? Like many want a good quality product, they want healthy living, uh, they intend to also improve the quality of living for themselves, their family, and many of those responses are very appropriate, no? And I think those really form part of the response that um, you would have to integrate precisely in the canvas, no? Or in the overall type of canvas that you have to establish, no, for this type of process. Let us also look that sometimes when we are developing a, a, a business, and I just want to share from experience that I have seen that there are people that sometimes start to develop a good business, but in one way or another they fail, and they fail because precisely part of their purpose was not well hard enough, was not done with that level of passion, or sometimes they lose that passion. Now, for example, let's put for an example that there are many small shops in Belize, and sometimes those shops start to perform very good. Suddenly, you start to realize um, that they operate, or the owner or the person selling doesn't start to open at the regular time, or it opens one day, closes the next. and then you start to realize there is a problem, no? Or suddenly the business start to sell a lot of product, and then you realize that they cannot maintain the quality because either they have changed their operation size or what practice or process, no, and it was not consistent. And also, um, suddenly also they produce a lot, sell a lot, and then it suddenly stop, no. So the consistency is not there, and then you realize that they start to lose some of their customers, no. And once you lose the customer or you receive a negative feedback, it damages more the business because your business was not able to keep up with the expectation that the customer had, no. So in this, what we're also seeing is that if the core business is maintaining and keeping your customer, precisely you're failing on one of those basic principles, no. So it is important that that the business realizes that it needs to keep its core purpose very, very at the forefront. If not, you will lose a lot of the of that value of what your business is meant to, no. So um now there's a second word that we saw there, which um, um, is what is called the value proposition. Um, Based on what you have in the Google Classroom, I extracted a little portion of some of the information that is shared there, no? And overall, it is said that what is the value proposition? It is the way you present the value that your product or service offers to the client. The value proposition makes the connection between what you can offer the client and what they can actually need or it would um, or they would like to have, no. So it is important to understand this value proposition because it is what makes the connection between the client and also what they are expecting, no. And for that purpose I had a video. I'm so I wanted to see if we can share that video.
Every day, companies design products and services to improve their customers' lives. But 72% of new product and service innovations fail to deliver on expectations. This means that customers don't care about 7 out of 10 new products introduced to the market. It doesn't have to be this way. Just like you create value for your business with a business model canvas, there is in fact a tool to intentionally visualize, design, and test how you create value for customers. It's called the Value Proposition Canvas. The Value Proposition Canvas is composed of 2 parts, the customer profile and the value map. With the customer profile, you describe the jobs your customers try to get done. Jobs can be functional, like getting from A to B, social, like impressing friends and colleagues, or emotional, like gaining peace of mind. You highlight your customers' pains, which annoy customers while trying to get a job done. Pains are negative outcomes that customers hope to avoid, like dissatisfactions with existing solutions and challenges, frustrations, risks, or obstacles related to performing a job. And you outline customer gains, which describe how customers measure the success of a job well done. Gains are positive outcomes that customers hope to achieve, like concrete results, benefits, and even aspirations. Use the customer profile to visualize, test, and track your understanding of the people or companies you intend to create value for. It's a map that becomes clearer the more you learn about your customers. The second part of the canvas is the value map. With it, you list the products and services your value proposition builds on. You describe in which way these products, services, and features are pain relievers, how they eliminate, reduce, or minimize pains customers care about, making their life easier. And you outline in which way they are gain creators, how they produce, increase, or maximize outcomes and benefits that your customers expect, desire, or would be surprised by. The value map makes explicit how your products and services relieve pains and create gains. Use it to design, test, and iterate your value proposition until you figure out what resonates with customers. You achieve fit by creating a clear connection between what matters to customers and how your products, services, and features ease pains and create gains. Great value propositions target essential customer jobs, pains, and gains and do so extremely well. Your customer profile may contain countless jobs, pains, and gains, but your value map highlights which ones you intend to focus on. But don't forget, an outstanding value proposition can still fail if your business model is flawed. Successful companies embed outstanding value propositions in scalable and profitable business models. Use the value proposition canvas to create products and services that customers want. Get started at strategizer.com.
So, an important element for this training is developing that valued proposition canvas. As you saw from the video, it takes a certain level of analysis and research in order to be able to understand, the how you are supposed to develop each of the elements that you see there in the video, no. And one of those important um, um, element uh, was precisely understanding the customer, no. That's why you see many different established businesses that many times they like to do a lot of survey. They like to do a lot of receiving feedback from the customer, and precisely they are doing and starting to target um, um, in understanding what the customer really desires, no. For example, when you see like a let's say a beverage company sometimes sending people or students to be able to ask the customers, can you taste this? Or when you see a new product being launched, sometimes they give you a sample. It's precisely because they are receiving constant feedback from the from the customers, no. um, I think that sometimes we have had an experience that small businesses are sometimes uh, they are afraid, I would say, of or sometimes it will be that sometimes we don't know also, and we have to accept that reality, no. Sometimes when we produce a product, I would say that uh, many times we become our own evaluators of what we are producing, and to us it can mean that whatever we are producing sometimes we will say is good, okay, but that is our own personal feedback, and we can be objective or non-objective, but at the end of the day you realize that it is customers and other people that are going to be able buying your product, and so that that becomes very important. uh, in Belize we have a saying that fisherman would not say his fish stink, and so it is something true, no. uh, but when you apply that um, to business, is that the customers will, in the objective way, they are going to determine if they like the product or not, no. And also it is not only basing on what one person would say, no, but it is based on a entire objective survey. And sometimes that's why many entities also sometimes would place their product, their competitors' product, or other products that serve as a reference, no? So people would have feedback without knowing which product they are evaluating, and from that also you can balance that the recommendation being provided by different persons is not that they are seeing your product and then criticizing it, but it is being based on an objective, no? um Also, you have to realize that when you are making an analysis of the customers, you realize that there are many different parameters measuring the customers that you're getting. It depends on the type of business that you have. That is also going to be differentiated by different aspects of your customer, in terms of age, in terms of sex, in terms of purpose, in terms of um, um, likes, cultural aspects, ethnical background. Many things are influencing the type uh, of of um, of recommendation or opinion that customer is going to be providing. No, there are also some types of businesses that cater for a specific type of target customer, no? And many times we call that a niche market. It's very specific to a very specific type of customer. So you have to really understand what type of business you have, and then you're able to establish what what customers you are targeting. Now, it is very also important that if you are targeting all customers, you say, then you don't have a precise product, because not all product is going to cater for everybody, and that is very important. Okay, so from what you saw in the value proposition, also you realize that there are certain aspects of your services. Your services is supposed to provide value to your customer. You are either solving a problem that customer has. You're either also providing value, as the canvas establishes. There are pains and there are gains, no? Those pains are, they are problems that a customer wants to solve. You bring in a product that solves his problem, you have more customers wanting to buy it. And that is very critical, that you realize that any product that comes into the market solving a problem that people have, um, basically you are able to then receive more customers. Take for example, those businesses in this group that are, let's say, producing and commercializing vegetables. um, Many people generally buy vegetables because they are, well, we all know the value of vegetables in the diet, no? But also when you start to realize that if you just commercialize um, vegetables in general, um, um, everybody, a good portion of people would eat those vegetables in the way we have our habit, no? But then if you look at organic vegetable, there is a niche market in organic vegetable, because the consumers are more conscious that they want vegetables without no pesticides, and therefore people that are more conscious of not contaminating the environment, uh, customers that don't want pesticides in their food, they would buy more and be willing to pay even a higher price for that product. Okay, if you have um, um, people in this group that are producing any type of artisanal products, then you will have um, people that are more conscious that those artisanals are maybe made by hand, they are made by a specific indigenous group, they have a spiritual value, or they also have a value that is intrinsic of the product or whosoever created it. So basically, you that is called what is called a niche market, no? And therefore you realize that those type of products are sometimes they have a certain demand, and they also have a certain higher price, and sometimes people will say, well, um, um, uh, uh, why people are willing to pay better price in that type of product when compared to to others, no? It is important to be able to develop this canvas, the value proposition canvas, because it also forms an integral part of the canvas C in general, no? So it is important that during the process, um, the elements that are established uh, um, for this training becomes very relevant for the rest of the opera, and also for us to be able to understand what are some of the elements that your business is bringing that is creating that unique value to to your business. um, the value proposition also, you are able to see um, other elements that we did not share in this presentation, but they are shared in the classroom, and therefore they provide the elements for you to be able to understand um, um, how you are supposed to um, include the type of information. Now, I also strongly believe that when you are developing and being able for people to understand um, your business uh, and the value that your business is able to provide for the amount of customers that you are able to satisfy, it creates a better uh, um, opportunity for people to be able to want to invest in your business, or even um, basically, if you have developed a basic business plan, you will understand that many elements mentioned in this value proposition are elements that will give you a better confidence of how to reach your customer, no? How many of you um, uh, when you started to develop your business, you thought more as a customer than a person trying to do a business because you wanted to do a business? Can I hear some of your comments? I know it has been a learning curve for some of you, um, and I will share a little experience. No, yes, I'm open for some of the comments. My last comment that I can share with you, um, with all of you, no, is that I did not have, I believe then I do not have the best, I would say I will not consider myself a businessman, no, even though throughout the process, as a professional, I have been able to establish um, um, a small business, but the business started basically because I wanted to install something for the family. But then I realized it had certain level of potential of serving, because people, um, okay, because I realized that many people would want to enjoy the same type of product I was producing, no? And then, therefore, I started to understand that I needed to learn more about my customers. What did they want? And then establishing it in the way that many of the customers. Of course, there is a learning process, but there are methodologies already that provide you the guidance of what are some of the things that you need to develop. Like, for example, let's say if I would have known there was uh, Canvas C and there was also the value proposition Canvas, then I would have used that methodology, and then maybe even saved on some headaches that I went through, no? And it is regrettably that many times businesses lose a lot of money, or sometimes they um, lose a lot of effort and time before their business are able to pick up, because they don't have the basic principles of and tools to be able to establish what are some of the things that you can do without going through that process, no? And I think there's nothing wrong in developing a business. I mean, and many people do hard work, a lot of sacrifice, but at the same time, I think this is why we have this type of training, so that you're able to use some of these tools that you are seeing that professionals are sharing, and then it becomes more easier for you to be able to establish the different types of tools, or even the level of insights, no? Because sometimes there are small businesses that can share some of their experiences, um, and then others don't have to repeat the same mistake. And this is very critical, and I think this also becomes important, that among the participants you would have the sharing of experience, so that people do not commit the same mistake, or we are able to uplift ourselves individually. Because you saw from the video that we shared that 7 out of how much? 7 out of 10 um, 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 businesses many times don't make it, and therefore people have to reorganize, and then be able to 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 develop a new idea or product, and only three of them are able to be successful. So having that experience of those three is very going to be very important, but then you are also are able to learn from the other seven which made the mistake, no? I also think that sometimes when you look at the landscape of businesses, you also realize that they started in one way, and then they have had to change and shift in many other ways because they get it until maybe the 10th or 20th attempt, no? So this is very important that businesses do not get discouraged, but they, once you maintain your passion, once you're able to, for your customers, you will be able to reach to a point where you're able to understand, so you're able to satisfy their needs, no? So it's all about the customers, especially the business purpose and the value proposition has the customer as the center part of your business. Then your business is your customer, and your customer is your business. And I think with that, I am able to um, close, except that if any of my colleagues would want to add anything else to my comment. Sergio, I think your mic is not on, Sergio.
Sorry for that, guys. Yes, like I was saying, Carlos, thank you very much for today's session. It was very informative. I think it has given us a more clear perspective of what our purpose is and what our value proposition for the business is, right? Guys, do you have any questions? You can ask them on the chat. Carlos is here to answer them, and we're also here to answer any questions that you might have. You can write it on the chat, guys. Any questions? I see Otto says loud and clear. I guess presentation was okay. Guys, please remember to join the Google Classroom too. There you can find all the information for tonight's session. You can find the videos and any other supporting material that we have uploaded for tonight, right? There you can find as well a guide to the value proposition canvas that Carlos was presenting on. Please remember to sign up on the attendance list for tonight. A link has been provided. If you're having any issues in signing up on the attendance sheet, you just let us know in the chat box, and we're gonna add you to the attendance, right? I see Alex says each business plan has their own way as how a business owner needs to remedy the situation. Okay, that is correct. Any other comments, guys? Questions? Oscar says treat your customers the way you want the wholesaler to treat you. That is right. Guys, the attendance list is posted on the chat box. Please sign up or let us know if you're having any issues in signing up, right? Please remember too that you can send us a draft of your Model C canvas for our revision. Please note that this will not be graded. It will not be used for the selection. It's just gonna be to give you feedback of what you're doing. You can email it to the email that has appeared to your screen. You can call us as well at 804-2079 if you have any concerns, any questions, or you can also email us, right, at agri.incubator@agriculture.gov.bz, right? If we have no other questions, guys, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for Carlos for this informative session on value and value proposition. As well, thank you all for being here. It has been a pleasure. And please remember that next week's session will be on Tuesday and Thursday uh, of next week, right? Guys, we do not have a date or a due date for the draft. You can send it anytime between now and the last session. And we're gonna be reviewing it and sending you back feedback, right? It's not gonna be graded. It's not gonna be used for selection at this point, right? The purpose is just for you to have a very strong Model C canvas when the actual selection comes in place, right? So please send us to the email address I shared before. Remember to sign up on the attendance form, and please join the Google Classroom. There you can find more information about tonight's session and also about the previous sessions and on upcoming sessions as well, right? Any other question, guys? If if not, thank you very much, and I hope to see you all here tomorrow. Next week. And once again, Carlos, thank you very much for tonight's presentation.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody to keep safe and have a good night.